Hey everyone, it's time for another Between the Lines. Voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen.
What's up?
Wobby. We've been previewing the NFC North, and you can't do that without talking about the reigning NFC North champions, the team that's taken 2 out of the last 3.
In this beautiful facility, by the way.
It's the Minnesota Vikings, coming off a 13-3
Yep.
and a first-place finish in the NFC North. Obviously, the talk of the town is the quarterback, Kirk Cousins. You excited about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I've said on my radio show, and this is Vikings.com, and, you're going to tell it like it is, specifically when it comes to what you think positively and or negatively about this team. So I mean this with all due respect. I think Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Case Keenum. So I believe the Vikings upgraded at quarterback. How far they upgraded, let's play the games and let's see. But I think from an arm strength standpoint, and the fact that he has mobility like Case had mobility, I think that's going to help the offense. But I think you need to be patient. New offensive coordinator, new quarterback, and some new things offensively. I think patience will be required.
Yeah, and you've said this many times. You have a landmark in terms of a date, a landmark on the calendar of how you will let the offense marinate until this point,
right,
and then you will come up with an opinion. Tell us about that.
Well, overall for me, and doing 9 to noon on the flagship KFAN, we're going to play the games. We're going to have the Monday montage. We're going to have positive and or negative thoughts depending on how the games go. And I do firmly believe the Vikings will have a really good record around Halloween. But through training camp, preseason, and the early patch of games, and we got some toughies in there too. I mean, at Lambeau, week number 2, of course, Jerick McKinnon, week 1. Then we're at the Rams. Then we come back at the Super Bowl champions. It's tough, don't get me wrong. But this offense, I believe, somewhere in the neighborhood of Halloween, I believe the offense and the entire team is absolutely going to take off. And I'm not going to say they're not going to lose a game the rest of the season because we are at Belichick in December. But I think from Halloween on, when it comes to this offense, that's when you can really, really start to hardcore judge how things are.
I mean, if you think back to the games where the Vikings have scored 21 points with Mike Zimmer.
What's that record?
30-4.
Right.
I mean, and so we're talking
Couldn't
about
call a game without him.
Right. We're talking about a quarterback in Kirk Cousins,
Yeah.
Who, with all due respect to the Redskins' weapons on offense, who were okay through the years, actually. I mean, Deshaun Jackson was good there.
Jordan Reed when healthy.
Jordan Reed, very good. Yeah.
Yep.
I have to believe that this is the best team Kirk Cousins has been on. And this is
Well,
the best set of weapons that Kirk Cousins has had.
Yeah, it's the best overall team Kirk Cousins has played on. Now, FICA, Fairness and Kirk Act. To whom much is given, much is expected. And the expectations are higher here, honestly, than he's ever had in Washington. They may have rolled into training camp and through the preseason being like, Sky Yuma, here we go, we're going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. That's legit here. I mean, that legitimately is an undertone of everything the Vikings do in this organization because the team is incredibly good, and we upgraded a quarterback. So there's a lot of pressure on Kirk, and I believe he'll come through, but still there is a lot of pressure.
You're the offensive coordinator for an opposing team of the Vikings, okay? So you're going through, you're figuring out how we're going to attack this thing.
Yeah.
How many blockers are you going to assign to Linval Joseph?
Wow, that's a great question.
You're going to assign 2, right?
Yeah, he gets 2 every play.
Okay, well, we got Everson Griffin on the edge.
Yeah.
He's going to get 1, and
he's
then
gonna
maybe
get 1
a
or
back,
2.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how about Daniil Hunter?
1 or 2?
How about Sheldon Richardson?
Yeah, that's the A topic.
What are teams going to do?
Well, it's the A topic because, the 3 technique spot is something that Mike Zimmer has coveted here since he got here. And they drafted Sharif Floyd. And, again, with all due respect, I was a big fan of Tom Johnson, Shamar Stephen, some of these other defensive tackles they call 3 techniques who have played here. And some of the best 3 techniques in the NFL in 4-3 defenses include Aaron Donald for the LA Rams, Gerald McCoy for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why are they so good? Because they have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sacks. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham when he slides inside. It's an incredibly important spot. Ndamukong Suh now is going to play some 3 technique for the LA Rams. So if you can get pass rushing pop from that spot, it plays off exactly what Wobby said. To whom do you give the most attention and why? Oof. If Sheldon is beating his guy play after play after play, you got to double him. And that means other people are going to have singles. It's a very, very big topic and big point for the Vikings this year. Sheldon Richardson's performance from the defensive tackle spot.
A first-place schedule for the first-place Minnesota Vikings coming up this season. That includes games at New England, at Philadelphia, at the Rams.
Got New Orleans here.
Saints coming to town. Tough schedule for the Vikings, but every schedule in the NFL is tough. There are no gimmies. And that does start, by the way, with week 1. Everyone's darlings, the San Francisco 49ers. I get it. But, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyle Shanahan, Jerick McKinnon, not a great way or easy way to open up the season either.
Well, Kyle Shanahan gets offense, and Jimmy Garoppolo never has lost a game. And Jerick McKinnon is going to be breathing fire when he comes into U.S. Bank Stadium to play his former team. You're right, Wobby. I mean, there are no gimmies, man, because you're at Lambeau the next week. After that, Leslie Frazier's coordinated defense in Buffalo. You don't think Leslie's going to have that defense keyed up and ready to go coming back to Minneapolis? At the Rams, at the Eagles, Saints in a primetime game, Packers here in a primetime game, at Belichick in December. When you win 13, it's going to be difficult the next year. But when you draft the way this general manager is drafted, and when you coach the way this head coach and these coaches coach, and you upgrade a quarterback, you're ready for the heat. It's going to get hot, and the Minnesota Vikings are ready.
It's been a busy offseason. I mean, Kirk Cousins, Sheldon Richardson had a good draft. Moved into the building. I mean, it's been fun and busy, and it's only going to get busier because training camp starts next week.
Yeah.
So you got to go to Vikings.com to get training camp tickets. Remember, you got to get them ahead of time. They're free, but you got to get them ahead of time. Make sure you get a parking pass as well. You're going to be here doing shows, aren't you?
I'm going to be here for the boom.
Okay, so, Paul Allen, Nordo, they'll be here doing 9 to noon, FM 100.3 The Fan. You can catch more from Paul on Twitter.
You think you have any time to come on the radio show while I'm here?
Of course I do.
Okay,
Are
cool.
you kidding me? Have I ever said no?
Very tough booking.
I've never met a Mike
At
I don't
Wobby
like.
on Twitter.
Never met a Mike I don't like. All right, we've previewed the NFC North, and on Between the Lines, that's over. Make sure you stay tuned to Vikings.com for more content. Thanks to Voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen, for joining us. Make sure you stay tuned to Vikings.com because training camp starts next week. Let's go.